For 35 years, Eleanor Holloway gave everything to her career. Late nights, missed birthdays, sacrificed relationships. Her name became a fixture in corporate boardrooms, whispered with respect and wariness in the upper echelons of London's finance sector. She wasn't just a woman of the city, she was the city. Steel, glass, movement. Her mind sharp, her appearance flawless, but even blades dull. And one day, Eleanor decided she was done. Not dramatically, not abruptly, but in the quiet, calculated way that had served her all her life. Her resignation letter was only 5 lines long. Her team barely had time to say goodbye before she vanished from the skyline. She wanted peace now. She wanted quiet. She wanted a reward. For months, she searched. She drove across neighborhoods, scoured listings, ignored agents who didn't get her. She knew exactly what she wanted. Detached, clean lines, just enough charm, modern wiring, old soul, no noisy pubs, no barking dogs, no screaming children. She wanted quiet, serenity, solitude, something almost antiseptic in its perfection. And then she found it. Nestled just on the outer curve of London's suburban sprawl, she spotted the house. The street was quaint and tree-lined, hedges sculpted, pavements clean. The house stood at the far end of the crescent, stately, white-bricked, 2 floors, large bay windows staring like blank eyes. A single "for sale" sign sat at the edge of the perfect lawn, swinging gently in the summer wind. No other homes had signs. In fact, she hadn't seen a single soul during her drive through the neighborhood. Odd, but appealing. Eleanor smiled. The estate agent was surprisingly easy to reach. Eager, almost too eager. He was available immediately. Within hours, she walked through the front door for the first time. The moment her polished heels touched the black and white checkered tile of the foyer, she felt it, an echo of something. Not quite dread, not quite warning, just a sense of stillness too deep to be natural. But it was perfect. High ceilings, long corridors, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, a loft space untouched. The garden was vast but somehow hemmed in by a high ivy-choked fence. No noise, no traffic, nothing but the soft sound of her own breath and the ticking of the grandfather clock in the hall. The sale was immediate. She didn't haggle. She didn't wait. Papers signed, money wired, keys delivered. She moved in on a Thursday. Her final night in her city flat was uneventful. She drank wine. She watched the skyline. She told herself she was ready. Friday morning, she left the city behind. Driving down the quiet A roads, Eleanor felt a strange kind of peace. Not joy, exactly. Something cooler. Like slipping into a bath that was just the right temperature, not warm, not cold, numb, perfect. She arrived at the house mid-afternoon. The movers came and went, furniture placed, curtains hung, books on shelves, everything in its place. She even smiled once or twice. For the first time in years, her jaw unclenched. Night fell. She lit a candle, opened a bottle of something old and expensive, and stood by the bay window in the upstairs sitting room. The street outside was empty. No cars, no lights in other windows. The sky was moonless, so quiet, almost sacred. She went to bed. The first morning, Eleanor woke disoriented. Not because the bed was unfamiliar. She had slept in many strange rooms during her travels, but because something felt off. There was no light coming in from the curtains. No birdsong, no creak of distant floorboards, just silence, thick and smothering. She swung her legs over the side of the bed, letting her feet find the floor. The hallway outside her bedroom was longer than she remembered. Odd. She walked down the corridor. Her heels echoed sharply against the wooden floor. She passed closed doors, doors she didn't recognize. 1, 2, 3, 4. She stopped. She had only seen 2 bedrooms on this floor during the viewing. She opened a door. It led to a room that didn't belong. The walls were damp, the ceiling sagging. A single iron bed frame stood in the center, rusted, the mattress torn. Wallpaper peeled in long yellow strips. A wet smell hung in the air, thick like mold and rot. She closed the door quickly, heart thudding. Maybe she was disoriented. Maybe the move had scrambled her memory. She walked back the way she came, but the hallway seemed longer now. The light bulbs overhead flickered, as though struggling to hold form. The air was wrong, heavier, cooler. She reached the stairwell and descended. Only, it wasn't the same staircase. This one spiraled, descending much further than it should have. The banister was cracked. The wallpaper, now old floral patterns, faded and smudged with what looked like ash. She descended, her feet moving slowly, as if in syrup. When she reached the ground floor, it wasn't the foyer she knew. It was a hallway, narrow, endless, with closed doors on either side. She tried one. It led to a dining room, long table, plate set, silverware polished, but the chairs were all turned away from the table, facing the wall. Shadows pooled in corners that defied the rules of light. She backed out slowly. Another door, a bathroom, but the mirror was covered with something black. Not paint, not fabric, just blackness, like a hole punched into the surface of the world. She closed it. She kept walking and walking and walking until her breath came short and her heart pounded like a war drum. The house had changed. At first, she thought it was just a nightmare. She returned to her bed, eventually found it again. The same white sheets, the same framed photos, her suitcase still unpacked. She lay down and closed her eyes, heart still racing. Morning would fix it, but morning never came. Not truly. Time passed. She slept. She woke. But the light outside remained dim. Grey, eternal dusk, the same bruised sky behind the windows, the same oppressive silence. She tried the front door. It was gone. Where it should have been, there was only a wall. The hallway extended further in both directions. New doors appeared, new staircases. She tried climbing up once, found herself in an attic full of broken dolls and bird cages that swung gently in still air. Another room held nothing but televisions, dozens of them, all off, all aimed at her. She screamed. Nothing changed. Days passed, or something like days. Eleanor tried marking time, drawing tallies on the wall with a kitchen knife she'd kept by her side. She lost track. Some marks vanished, others multiplied without her touching them. She tried breaking a window. The glass cracked, but instead of shattering, it bled. Thick red drops oozed from the fissures and dripped to the floor. She stopped trying. Food appeared in strange places, bowls of grey porridge, plates of meat that smelled wrong. Once, she found a child's lunchbox on her bed. Inside, a neatly wrapped sandwich, a juice box, a note in her own handwriting that said, "Smile today." She vomited. The house changed while she slept. Rooms moved, hallways doubled back, doors vanished behind her, and sometimes she wasn't alone. At first, it was just the sense of it, that someone was behind her, just out of reach, breathing, watching. Then came the whispers, in the vents, beneath the floorboards, behind the walls, then the knocking, always in threes, sometimes soft, sometimes thunderous, but never followed by anyone answering. She ran through corridors, screaming, slamming into walls, pleading. No one came, not even herself. She found photographs once, dozens of them, scattered across a long hallway floor, all of her, different ages, different outfits. In some, she was crying, in others, asleep. In one, she was staring directly at the camera, mouth open, eyes wide as though caught mid-scream. She didn't remember any of them being taken. She burned them in a fireplace she found in a parlor that didn't exist the next day. The fire screamed as they burned. One morning, or what passed for it, she awoke with her hands tied. She didn't remember sleeping. The room was dark, small, no windows, just a chair and a desk. On the desk, a tape recorder, already running. A voice played, her voice, reading a list of regrets, every lie she had told, every cruelty she had justified, every moment she had crushed someone under her ambition. She tore the cords from her wrists and smashed the recorder, but the voice kept playing over and over from every room, sometimes backwards. Eleanor forgot what the outside smelled like, forgot the feel of rain, forgot her name once, until she said it out loud repeatedly for an hour, terrified it would slip away forever. Eleanore, Eleanore, Eleanore. But the house remembered, because sometimes it whispered it back, late at night, from under the bed, from inside the closet, from the crack in the wall. Eleanore. One day, maybe weeks in, she found the door again, the front door. It stood there, plain, wooden, with a brass handle she remembered. She ran, threw it open, and found the same hallway, endless, dark, whispering. The house wasn't letting her go. She collapsed in the doorway, sobbing. The silence stretched around her, swallowing the sound of her grief. Somewhere, deep in the house, something moved. Footsteps, deliberate, coming closer. The sound of a door opening, breathing, not hers. And then, a voice, low, male, calm. "You asked for quiet." She froze. The voice was close, too close, as if it had always been behind her. Slowly, Eleanor turned, and there he stood. A man, or the suggestion of one. Tall, dressed in black, face obscured, blurred like a smudge on old film. His shape flickered at the edges like heat rising off asphalt. She opened her mouth. No sound came. "You asked for quiet," the figure repeated, his voice calm, almost kind. He raised one pale hand and touched her temple. And the house exhaled. The lights above buzzed. The walls pulsed like lungs. The hallway behind her shifted, no longer corridors, but veins, wet, pulsing, alive. Eleanor screamed. This time, the sound did come, raw, animal, but the house drank it in, swallowed it. "No more noise," the man whispered. "No more world, no more you." Her body stiffened. She couldn't move, couldn't blink. Her mind was tearing open piece by piece. Around her, the wallpaper peeled to reveal walls made not of brick or wood, but teeth. Thousands of them, grinning, chattering. Blood ran up the walls, up, not down. And then she saw them. Faces, dozens, hundreds, trapped behind the walls. Women, men, children, all screaming silently, mouths wide, eyes begging, frozen in plaster, sealed into the bones of the house itself. She recognized one. It was herself, mouth open, eyes blank. She looked down. Her hands were stone. Her legs fused to the floor. The man in black leaned in. "The quiet lasts forever here." The house stood still again. Perfect, beautiful, silent. The windows gleamed. The garden was tidy. The for sale sign was back in place. And at the end of the crescent, a car pulled up. Another woman stepped out, tired, hopeful, looking for something quiet.